When I was younger, I was what others would call petite. I stayed in the 4 foot tall range for as long as I can remember, just finally breaking the 5 feet tall marker at age 12. Not to mention all of my peers back in my old school being taller than me, and more than half of them being above average height for their ages. Also, back in my old school, not only was I the shortest, but I was also always the youngest in the class. And I know what you're thinking. Where are you going with the story about you being the shortest and the youngest in the class back at your old school? Well, when I was young and short, people always made assumptions about me and what I could do. They assumed that because of my height, I wasn't very athletic, sporty, tough, fast, or strong. They assumed that because of my age, I wasn't mature enough, logical enough, smart enough. You're supposed to be a grade below us, they would say, or whenever I was made team captain in gym and I chose one of them, they would groan in disappointment as if they knew that they had already lost because they didn't have a taller, stronger, faster boy on the team. Now, I could have just taken it all and let myself get walked over by the rest of them. But that wouldn't be as fun. So instead, I proved them wrong. Instead of conforming to this teeny tiny, non-athletic, weak box they had put me in, I broke out of that box. And I proved to be the strongest, fastest, and most athletic kid in that grade. And instead of becoming this dumb, immature, babyish student that they thought me to be, I proved to be one of the smartest. And no longer was little Chloe constantly being told that she was in the wrong grade, or was constantly being picked next to last to play on the teams in PE. Never again. But that's not to say that that was the last time people assumed things about me. Nope, no way. In fact, it was only the beginning. When I was around 8 or 9 years old, I decided that I wanted to become a famous performing artist and be on Broadway. It had been a long-growing dream of mine since I had started singing and acting for fun at age 5. And even though my parents were very supportive, and still are to this day, there was still a lot of people who had a lot to say about what I wanted to do professionally at first. Many people assumed that it was just me dreaming big, that I wasn't being serious, and that if I was, it would never happen. Do you know how many kids audition for Broadway and never get in? That's what they would say. But my parents and I would always say back, yeah, but you never know unless you try. And you can imagine everyone's priceless reaction when they found out that little Chloe would be going to the Big Apple to join the cast of School of Rock the Musical on Broadway. You see, since the dawn of time, people have been making assumptions about other people. It's like human nature at this point to make an assumption about someone, especially someone you don't know. In social settings, casual settings, professional settings, or hey, even my own domain, the entertainment industry. Assumptions, stereotypes, they can be put on anyone and everyone. Whether it be on the basis of someone's gender, sexuality, religion, class, national origin, or race. And yo, you will not believe how many people have assumed that I live in the hood or a lower class suburban area because I'm black. And I gotta be like, no girl, I'm from Midtown Manhattan. And you will not believe how many people have assumed that I'm not athletic or that I don't know what I'm talking about ever because I'm a woman. And then I show them what I'm made of, and surprise, surprise, I'm actually a confident human being. And they're wowed because I did my job correctly. There is an article that was written in 2018 by the Frontiers In organization concerning stereotypes, specifically about gender. And they say that stereotypes can serve as an adaptive function that allow people to categorize and simplify what they observe and to make predictions about others. However, stereotypes can also induce a faulty assessment of people. That is, assessments based on generalization from beliefs about a group that do not correspond to a person's unique qualities. And the article goes on to say that stereotypes, whether they be negative or positive, can influence a person's attitudes, bias, and expectations of you, even if they don't even know you. They might think they do, but they don't. So, what can you do when people continue to make faulty assumptions about you when they're not true and they don't correspond to who you truly are as a human being? Well, I have a solution. The Art of Proving People Wrong. That's the title of the speech. Because I'm going to be teaching you some tips and tricks on how to break the mold. how to overcome people's expectations of you and look good doing it, how to punch the status quo in the face and rise to the occasion. First up is to know yourself. Know what you can do and believe in it. Because when you're confident and self-assured in your abilities and what you can bring to the table, people will believe in it too. Second is to not compare yourself to others. You are your own person with your own mind, body, and soul. Comparing yourself to other people will just make room for them to make more assumptions about you that you can't relate to a certain trait that they have, so they'll try to figure you out quickly. Be wary of it. Third is to stop talking and do the work. Now, even though breaking stereotypes put upon you and proving people wrong is very worth giving yourself a pat on the back for, you will not get anything done if you just talk or brag about what you say you can do. Just do it. Trust me when I say that your actions will speak louder for you than your actual words. Fourth is to stay focused. My mom always tells me this quote whenever negativity is coming my way. Observe, don't absorb. This is a reminder that when faced with assumptions, negativity, stereotypes, backlash, the whole shebang, that you can sit back and watch the show as much as you want like it's a movie at a theater. But the trick is not to absorb and internalize that negativity, or else they win. Finally, assess and reevaluate. Constantly work on yourself, not just your abilities, but also your character, so that you can always know that when negative assumptions are placed upon you, they're not true. Now, I am a board member with Être Girls, and I, along with many others, rep #BeBrave. Because to me, the worst feeling that you can feel is fear. And I, also like many others, have been dealing with fear for as long as I can remember. I deal with fear when I forget to do something important, or when I'm about to go on stage and perform, when I see a bug, when I'm faced with the dark, or sometimes for no reason at all. To me, fear is the ultimate downer. So I know that when you are being faced with negative assumptions and stereotypes about you, when they're coming in all at once or one after the other, it can be really scary, especially when you want to do something about it. But my advice when this happens is to think about how dang good you're gonna feel when you make people realize what you're actually about and become as confident in you as you are in yourself. Imagine that. And don't ever let that thought go. Not until you get to feel that feeling for yourself in real time. Now get on out there and prove some people wrong. Oh, and if you run into the glass ceiling, punch right through it and tell them little Chloe sent you.